Thomas here and welcome back to another video. So today we're back here for another speed build, and today we're going to go ahead and create this Malibu mansion. So if you'd like to go ahead and download this for yourself, it is up on the gallery now. My origin ID is RealThomasTV1. So this is a mansion build on Wednesday, which I don't do that often actually. What I do every week is on a Sunday I'll do a mansion build, and then sometimes on a Friday I'll do a bonus one. But I don't think I've done like a bonus one on a Wednesday though. So anyway, I was kind of just in the mood to build, and I was actually needing a video for today. It's actually the day before, it's the 2nd of April I'm doing this voiceover on. This is going up tomorrow on the 3rd, and I was kind of just trying to think of a kind of a build to do and kind of just planning out builds for the rest of the week. Because I needed to record, because I've been kind of ahead of my schedule for a few weeks, and I was kind of in the need to do some more videos, and I just didn't really know what to do, to be honest. I was kind of just looking through my build ideas list, and nothing was really sounding that interesting at that moment, because I do get a lot of ideas and also requests as well, and I just add them all to my ideas list, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to want to do them all the time. You know, there'll be ones that I'll kind of feel more like doing than others, if that makes sense. That's kind of what's, you know, everybody does that. So I was actually just replying to some comments before that, and I actually saw this person who suggested doing a Malibu mansion, and I actually thought that was kind of a nice idea. And because I kind of, when I think of that, I kind of think more modern, and I don't do a lot of modern builds, and it's a little bit out of my comfort zone, so it's like, you know what, let's go ahead and do that. I'm just on my phone now trying to find the person who suggests this idea, and I'm just going to go ahead and try and get it up so I can mention their name, who suggested the idea. So it was Dr. Cyanide, so thank you so much for that, and that's what we're doing today. So this build is built on the 50 by 40 lot where the Bailey Moon household is in Del Sol Valley, and it has 4 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms, and I'm actually really happy how this build turned out. So like I just said like a few minutes ago, that I kind of went for a more modern feel. Well, not every aspect of the house is like that. You will kind of see some more traditional aspects, and I also used a few items from the very kind of glamorous luxury side of Get Famous build mode, so I use a few of those in different areas of the build as well. So it's kind of a mix of things really, but there are some kind of modern aspects to it. And this build took me about 1 hour and 45 minutes, which doesn't sound like a long time, but it actually is kind of on the longer side for me. So I did actually have to cut out quite a bit of stuff. Now, not like, you know, for example, I'm kind of doing the walls here. I didn't cut it out completely, but maybe if something was getting a little bit repetitive, then I may kind of just take out a little bit of it just to kind of keep the length of the video down, because as you can see, it is nearly the 16-minute mark, which is a little bit on the longer side for me. I normally really don't like to go above 15 minutes, which compared to some other people, that isn't really long at all. And I don't actually mind watching longer videos, but for me personally, I've found that the best thing to do is to keep it under 15 minutes, so I do try to do that. And yeah, so we're just working a little bit on the exterior kind of outdoor space and stuff, like the porchways and things. And I also did like a little gazebo thing, but not like how I normally do them, because what I used to do, well, what I still do really, but just not in this build, is for gazebos and like outdoor seating areas, I'll kind of make like an octagonal room, and then I'll go ahead and sort of, you know, just put a glass roof on there or something. But what I did for this one was like kind of attach it to the pool, and then go ahead and put it on a foundation, both the pool and the little outdoor seating area, and then go ahead and put the, like, make a lattice out of fence on top of it and put some of those plants on. So that's what I did. And yeah, so I'm also doing kind of like an extension to the house here on the side, and on that little building there, like the outhouse sort of thing, I just went ahead and kind of made it into another just general entertainment room. So there's like a dining table in there with like another seating area, a bar area, and some other things as well. And I also put a bathroom in there as well, since it's kind of separate from the house. You don't have to go all the way to the main part of the house if you're over there. And there's also a little guest house in the backyard, which I do actually change into a study, which I do, well, I've done it quite a few times recently, instead of making it into another bedroom. Now, I do say that though, but you could, you know, if you need an extra bedroom, you could easily change that extra sort of like guest house thing that I made into the study into an actual bedroom if you need that space. But what my thought was behind this build is that maybe it's somebody who's like, I don't know, just like in the movie business or something, and they have like very important and sort of like just secret meetings and stuff, so they kind of have like a huge big office that's separate to the main part of the house where they can go. So that's kind of my thought process behind that, and it kind of fits in well, I think, with Get Famous in Del Sol Valley, so I'm kind of happy that I did actually make that room into a study. But like I was just saying, if you'd rather have that be a bedroom, then feel free to do that, because there's plenty of other space in the house to maybe kind of, you know, put a computer desk. Well, even some of the bedrooms have their own computer desks, So if you just need a computer for its actual purpose and not kind of that storyline sort of thing, then you know that you've got that sorted as well. So we're now just working a little bit on the interior. As you can see, we haven't finished the exterior. I'm kind of just jumping around and just working on what I feel like working on. So we're starting off with this kind of kitchen dining room. What I was actually going to do is, as you can see that archway there and then the front door, I was actually going to put the dining table there, but then I actually put the dining table here and without even thinking about it, so well, it still worked out kind of nicely though, so that's what I did here. And it also has a nice big fireplace and a TV. Now, I did actually forget to put a TV in this build, like an actual like living room, because it's a very kind of open plan and it ended up not really being a living room. You will kind of see a living room sort of area, which we'll work on shortly, but I didn't even put a TV in there until the end, and I might have done it off screen. So if you see me not putting a TV in the living room area, then don't worry, I do go back and do that later. So we're now just working on this kind of random room here, which has kind of got like a pink theme to it, which I don't do a lot actually, and I don't really know what was my thought behind this room really, because I don't do personalized rooms in my builds, because I like to keep them neutral for everybody to kind of just fit any type of family into one of my builds. So this was a little bit more personalized, so if you want to change that, then that's fine, but you know, I don't do them that often, like personalized rooms, so sometimes it is nice to do it. And then this is one of the bathrooms here, which I actually really like how it turned out. As you can see, it's a little bit different from what I normally do, both in terms of how I'm decorating it, because I don't really do clutter that often, both in bathrooms like this or just in builds in general, and also went for a slightly different colour scheme instead of just using the generic sort of parenthood kind of tiles that I always use in my bathroom, so I switched it up a little bit. So this is the living room area here, as you can see, and as you can kind of tell, it's not really like a separate living room, it's just kind of random in a way. I don't even know how to explain it, and I was trying to find something here in the middle of the coffee table just to make it look a little bit interesting, and I decided to go ahead and put one of those little trees in from what was it, I think it's Perfect Patio that tree comes from, and it's like an indoor plant, and I kind of thought it looks a little bit interesting, but now looking back at it, it does look a little bit odd, so if you want to change that, then feel free to do it. And you can also see as well, I forgot to mention this, but on the left hand side of the house, it's pretty much like all glass, and I don't really know what I was thinking behind that. It's just kind of sort of like a big modern glass extension, and upstairs it's actually like a mezzanine level, so when you go up the stairs you can actually look down on that, and actually it kind of juts out 2 times, so you kind of got all the kind of glass windows, and then it juts out again and has just the single level with the glass roof where the living room is, so it's just like all glass, and it's actually kind of nice because it kind of fits well with that modern aspect that I was kind of going for in this build, and how I was mentioning at the beginning about being a little bit modern, a little bit traditional in it, and also as well, it's in Dalsell Valley, so there's lots of nice scenery to look at and stuff, so it kind of goes well with that too. So now we're just working on one of the bedrooms. Of course, I had to get a purple room in there, so that's what we're doing here. I seem to do a little bit too much in my builds recently, but there's nothing wrong with it. So as you can see what I'm saying before about how there being a computer desk here, if you just need a computer desk to do like, you know, simple little tasks, you may not need that huge big kind of guest house sort of room that's been changed into the study, so you could change that into an actual guest house if you want to. And then I did just go ahead and cut out me doing all that ladder stuff because it is very repetitive and tiring, so I just went ahead and took it out of this build. But it's really simple. It's basically just taking the fence and kind of just making little sorry, there's like birds outside, they're making a right noise. I don't know if you could hear that. Anyway, so I just kind of take the fence and kind of just make patterns out of it, and then kind of take out all the little foundation bit out of it, so you can see through, and then that's just as simple as that. But it's a little bit repetitive, so I'll just take it out of the video. And now we're just working on a little bit of landscaping. Now I did actually do this in a video the other day. I can't remember which one it was. I think it might have been the country mansion that I did last Sunday. But I did the landscaping a little bit differently, where I kind of just didn't do those low-lying yellow flower plants as the base, because I always seem to do that to start off my landscaping. I can just go straight in and just putting actual flowers and plants down instead of that on the bottom, and it's just a little bit different really. It doesn't really look that much different, but it's just a different way of doing it for me personally, and you probably don't really notice it, to be honest. And I also went ahead and put a lot more outdoor lights in this build than I normally do. Now I don't know why, but I stopped putting outdoor lights in my builds. Like, I still do porch lights and stuff, which I also did in this build, but I mean like little lights inside the plants and stuff, because it's, I don't really know why I stopped doing it, but I just kind of did. But for today's build I did go ahead and do that because I felt like the outside of this build is kind of a main kind of point about it. because there's lots to do outside in this build. The big kind of, you know, backyard area with the pool and this sort of gazebo area that we're working on now. So just kind of make it a little bit more nicer for nighttime. I just went ahead and did that. And also I did a little interesting thing with the foundation on the pool. I did mention this earlier, how this gazebo and the pool are both on a foundation. But with the fountain that I normally do in like the middle of the pool sometimes, it kind of turned out a little bit differently. So it's like a sunken in foundation in the middle of the pool, which I thought looked a little bit interesting. That kind of just happened by accident, but I thought it looked kind of nice, so I just left it in. And we're just working on a little portrait here as well, which I just put the barbecue area on. I didn't kind of fill up the portraits that often. Sorry, that didn't make sense. Well, I don't fill them up that often with kind of clutter and stuff in my builds, but this one as well, I didn't really do that. And I know I'm not the only one who does that. I've kind of mentioned it a few times in my builds. And also just a quick shout out to the Simpanions, because I know they are very supportive of my channel actually, so thank you so much for that. But also as well, they kind of just remind me about that, because they also don't tend to kind of fill up the porches with lots of furniture and stuff, because we were talking about that in the comments the other day. And yes, so we're just working a little bit more on the landscaping. Again, it's pretty much the same as the front, so I don't show you all of it in the speed build here. I think this is the last bit you see before I just do the rest of it off screen, because again, it's just one of those repetitive things. And then for the trees, I did keep them fairly simple today. I pretty much just went for these palm plants, and then just kind of palm trees. And then I went ahead and just kind of sized them up and down just to make them look more interesting. And then I chose one other plant from base game, which I can't think what it is. Sorry, I keep saying plant. Another tree, and I use that kind of a few times as well. But the palm trees are the most kind of frequent one, or the most ones that I use in this build. And then we're just working on another bedroom here. Now, like I said, there are 4 bedrooms in this build. And like normal, I don't really know which one would be the master bedroom, because they're all kind of got good things about them. So I don't think any of them have an ensuite bathroom though, so I'm not too sure which one you would like to class as the master. Now actually, I was thinking that one that we're just working on, the one with like the creamy colours and stuff, as being the master for some reason, but now I'm kind of looking at this one here, this kind of grey monochrome one that we're just working on, and this could actually maybe be the master, because it just have its own fireplace, and as you can see, it just have like interior windows, if that makes sense. So you can see those windows right there that actually look out onto the staircase and down below into the living room. So I think it's kind of a unique thing about this particular bedroom, so maybe this one would be the master. And then we've also got a gym in here. Now normally what I do is that I'll just do the gyms in garages, because I feel like it's a good use of the space. And you may have seen at the beginning, I was trying to make a diagonal room on the right hand side of the lot, and that was actually going to be the garage. But it just didn't really work out for the space. So I was like, well, do I put a gym in, because it's like that's where I normally put them, and we don't have a garage. But I kind of had an extra room here, which I wasn't really too sure what to do with, so I did just go ahead and decide to make that into like an interior gym room. And then this is the kind of separate house on the right, well, a separate building, not a separate house, the separate building, and I just kind of changed this into another kind of general entertainment room. So I went ahead and put another bar area in. I don't know why so many of my builds have like multiple bar areas, which is totally unnecessary. And then I also went ahead and put a dining table here as well, which maybe isn't that kind of, you know, I don't know if that's right, because there's the dining room in the kitchen. But maybe if you have like a lot of people here, then they can kind of use that to sit around and talk or something. And as you can see, there is the bathroom there, which I did do off screen because it's just the same as the other ones. And then here I remembered that I didn't have a TV in the living room, so I went ahead and put one back here. Now there wasn't really anywhere I could really do it, so I just went ahead and kind of just did it on a on like a TV stand, because normally I do them above fireplaces, but I couldn't really do that there because of the stairs and how that room was kind of laid out. And then this is the last room that we're working on, I believe. And this is the one I was talking about earlier, how it's a study, but it is a pretty big room as well, so if you need an extra bedroom or something, then you could change this into another bedroom. And actually kind of thinking about it, it could actually be made into 2 bedrooms, because it is a fairly large room. So if you want to make that into 2 bedrooms, or maybe just kind of like a its own sort of separate sort of quarters, like a granny flat sort of thing, where it has its own mini kitchen and own bathroom and bedroom, you could maybe do that as well. So that would be good if you had like a multi-generational family, you could go ahead and do that. So we're heading on to the screenshots now. I really hope you enjoyed. In the comment section down below, let me know about what you thought of this build. If you have any more suggestions for other builds or mansions or anything else you want to see on the channel next, that'd be really helpful to hear. Leave a like, share and subscribe if you haven't, and you can go ahead and download this from the gallery. My origin ID is RealThomasTV1, and there'll also be a download link in the description as well to the online gallery if that's easier for you to download this build, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!